welcome back to Fun on Weekdays podcast. I'm your host, Jenna Palick, and I'm so excited for today's episode because I feel like I'm sitting down with my childhood friends and I'm filling them in on the last 5 years of my life, except for it's with all of you and it's basically the last month. So in today's episode, I'll talk all about how to have the best summer ever, the power of believing in yourself, manifestation, lucky girl syndrome, and a ton of life updates between Fun on Weekdays and my personal life. There's a lot going on. So it is the first week of June, which means it is officially summer, which also means we are kicking off the Fun on Weekdays summer series of all of the incredible events that we've been planning. When I started Fun on Weekdays, the podcast, I always wanted it to be more than like just a podcast. I wanted to reach other people. I wanted to host events. I wanted to create basically this whole like brand. And now 2 years later, I'm starting to see a lot of those components come to fruition, and it's just so insane. It's so rewarding, so fulfilling. And I just want to say thank you to everyone. On that note, let's share some Fun on Weekdays updates. As many of you know, in January, we hired Gabby, who is our full-time graphic designer, creative marketing manager. She's our photographer at all of our events, and she is incredible. And in February, we hired Hallie, who is our full-time event planner. Since expanding the team, we have been really focused on planning events far out, so we have plenty of time to coordinate event updates from the beginning of 2023. So in January, we kicked off the year with the New York City Rooftop Happy Hour to celebrate the new year. It was 125 people. It was actually my first time meeting Gabby in person. Second event, I had just hired Hallie, but she wasn't at this event because she wasn't part of the team to coordinate it yet. But we did a Nashville Galentine's Day brunch. I think that was 175 people. And since then, we've done a couple walks around Lady Bird Lake in Austin. We've done a walk in Houston. We did a movie night here in Austin. We watched How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. And then we did a Dripping Springs winery tour, which was actually the first Fun on Weekdays event that I have not personally been at, which is one of my goals, is to continue hosting these smaller, more local events in a bunch of different cities, which means as we continue to do that, I unfortunately won't be able to be at every single event, but it will allow us to coordinate more. After the winery tour, we most recently just did a charcuterie class here in Austin. There were 32 girls. I personally learned a lot. A couple of the girls brought their moms along, which I thought was really, really sweet and a good reminder that anyone of all ages is welcome at our events. And then most recently, last week, we went to Charleston, which, by the way, so freaking cute. I felt like I was in a Hallmark movie set. I mean, technically, we were in the Notebook movie set, but it was so gorgeous. The weather was stunning. The only thing that I would have changed about Charleston is having more time to actually explore the downtown area. So we had an Airbnb that was right by King Street. The Airbnb itself was gorgeous on the inside, but it was like right off of the freeway, right in front of a ramp. And my bedroom was at the front of the house. So the traffic was pretty loud at night. And then not to mention the house next door was this really old house that's being renovated. And every single morning at 7 a.m., the workers next door had this giant metal trash bin that they were throwing shit from the second story of the house into the trash bin. And it was just so loud, constant banging. And we had a ton of work to do while we were in Charleston. So we couldn't necessarily work at the Airbnb in peace. So that was a downfall. The one day I woke up and I was going to get into the shower, and there is this window that leads out to the other side. And as soon as I walked into the bathroom, I made direct eye contact with this guy who's a worker. He was standing, I am not kidding you, like 6 inches away from the window. And we both looked at each other like a deer in headlights. It was so awkward. I just started pulling the shades down like as I'm making eye contact with him. So that was probably the only downside of our Airbnb, but I can link it for you if you guys are planning a bachelorette there. The place itself was beautiful, and the renovations next door, I'm sure, will not last very long. So we hosted 250 people on this giant yacht. It was called the Charleston Princess. And if we could have fit 500 people on that boat, I am more than positive that we would have been able to do that, because the Charleston girls, their energy was so infectious. Like the second that I saw people lining up on the dock to come in, everyone was smiling, everyone was chatting with each other, and I could just feel the excitement, and it's contagious. Like you just have this nonstop smile on your face, like you're taking prom pictures for hours, and I was so excited to meet everyone. Every time we do a big event like this, it just reminds me how crazy it is that all of these people from all these different backgrounds and ages and hometowns all got connected literally through a Facebook group. Like, that is wild to me. So I met a huge group of students who are dentists or dental assistants, and I was showing them my veneer on the front tooth. I know that one of the girls has a video of one of the girls like checking out my veneer, they were giving me advice on it because it's lately been staining a lot more. Been drinking too much coffee and my front tooth is turning yellow. Ugh, if you guys have a front veneer, you know the pain. It is so fucking frustrating. I think I'm gonna try and get my front tooth veneer redone. Maybe like later this fall. I'm actually planning to go home to Ohio for a wedding in August. So I'm gonna try and coordinate that with my dentist there because I don't trust anyone else to touch my teeth. Which also, backstory, this has nothing to do with Charleston, but I broke my tooth in 3rd grade on a playground. I cut it in half. I was on a playground with my dad, one of those like little teeter-totters that's bouncy, and it was hot outside. My hands were sweaty and they slipped from the metal like handle. My face went forward onto the pole. I cracked my front tooth in 3rd grade. And since then, I've gotten the bonding redone like quite a few times, but I think a year and a half ago, or maybe even 2 years ago at this point, I had them completely take off the bottom bonding because up until then, they had just been extending my tooth on the bottom and using my real tooth on the top. The issue is that the real tooth on the top has been losing color. It's starting to get gray because it's starting to die, but it's not fully dead. So because it's not fully dead, they didn't want to do a root canal. Oh my God. Anybody who doesn't have a cracked tooth is just like, what the fuck are you talking about? It doesn't matter. Let me just finish the story. So I had it shaved down and I didn't want to do a full veneer across my front teeth because if you just do one, the other ones are not going to match. So they recommend you do at least the front 4. But I love my teeth. I love my smile. So I'm worried that if I do actual veneers, that I would lose my beautiful smile that I love so much. It's my favorite quality about myself. So I had it shaved down. I had them just basically add bonding over the entire top of my tooth so that the whole thing matches. And they tried to match it to my other teeth as much as possible. But when you drink red wine or coffee or caffeine, even if you use a straw, it is still so easily stained. And lately, I've been starting to notice that my tooth is getting darker and darker, especially in event photos. I'm like, ooh. Every time I talk to girls and I'm standing probably like 5 inches away from their face and I see them looking at my mouth, I'm always like, oh my God, are they looking at my veneer? Are they looking at my dead tooth? So I always try to acknowledge the tooth if I think anyone is talking about it, the tooth. And so it turns out I was acknowledging the teeth and the tooth, and the group of girls I was talking to about it were all dentists. So anyways, I met a big group of dentists. I met a ton of students. I met a girl who actually DM'd me and said, my boyfriend just broke up with me. I'm like having a hard time. Do you have any extra tickets to your boat event? I would love to come. And it turned out she was able to get one last minute from a girl who like transferred it to her. I met her in person and it's just wild. I met this girl, Marianne, who came to our festival last summer in Austin. She came to another event and then she just came to the one in Charleston because she just moved to Charleston. I'm like, the world is so wild how connected everyone is. So I'm just really grateful for the opportunity to meet a million of you guys. So I'm just really grateful for the opportunity to meet so many of you guys. On that note, tomorrow we head out to Chicago, I'm like mind blown by because we have 800 freaking people. Like what? 800 people coming to the Shore Club, which is right along the beach in Chicago. I've actually never seen the Chicago beaches. Are they nice? I'm not sure. We'll find out shortly. The feedback that I've gotten from everyone that lives in Chicago is I have no idea how the hell 800 people are going to fit in that venue. So that is a little bit concerning because we've never seen the venue in person. We've only ever seen it in photos and videos. I'm relying on what the venue said. They said the capacity is 800, so we sold 800 on the dot. And that is like not including my team. So there's 3 of us, videographer, photographer, all the extra vendors. So we're kind of already over capacity and unfortunately we can't add any more tickets. But if you're listening to this on Tuesday morning and this podcast episode has not crossed the time of the event and you're wanting to come tonight, join our GroupMe because I'm sure there will be people last minute who are not able to come or something came up. Or maybe they're not feeling good and they're trying to transfer a ticket. So keep an eye out in the GroupMe because there's always something last minute. Okay, next Fun on Weekdays events. The following week, I'm actually going to be in Puerto Rico. I'm going to Puerto Rico with Dibs to celebrate their 2 years of business. I'm really excited about that. I almost wasn't going to go because I was just feeling so guilty for leaving town for like 4 or 5 days because I've been out of town so much lately. And we also have a Fun on Weekdays Paint and Sip event in Austin. It's a group of 34 girls, I believe. That event is actually already sold out. All of our upcoming events, the tickets are linked in our newsletter, and they're always linked in the newsletter before they go live to the public on like Instagram. So if you ever miss an event update, it's probably because you're not on our newsletter. So sign up for the newsletter. The link for that will be in the episode description. And if you ever don't get the emails, check your promotions folder because it's probably in there or spam. Unfortunately, spam, I know. The emails really are not spammy, but I decided that I really wanted to go on this trip. I've been working with Dibs for about a year and a half now. I have a product coming out with them later this fall. Our estimated date is November 8th as of now, but that will likely change just due to like production and fulfillment. So that's been a really, really exciting project that I'm on the floor about. I cannot wait for you guys to get your hands on it. But after Puerto Rico, we are also planning an event for the Barbie movie launch. So Gabby had this super cute idea to get a big group of girls to go and watch the movie premiere at the Alamo Drafthouse in Austin. And we would have all of the girls coming buy a Barbie doll and then dress up as their Barbie. We would do a little like costume contest, and we'd have a little party beforehand because there's a private room at the Alamo. And then all of the Barbies that people bring, we would go and then donate them to like little kids or a shelter. So I thought that was just the most beautiful idea ever. Shout out to Gabby for that idea. Love it. So keep your eyes open for that. I consider Memorial Day to be the start of the summer, but technically June 21st is the first day of summer. My June is like jam-packed. Went to Charleston. We have Chicago. Then I'm going to Puerto Rico. And later this summer, I'm doing a family vacation to Hilton Head. So I have a lot of travel plans, a lot of events, and I need a lot of dresses, a lot of sandals, a lot of swimsuits, and you can find all of it at Macy's. You can shop my favorites at Macys.com/FOW. But the big event of the summer, last year we did a festival to celebrate the 1-year anniversary of Fun on Weekdays. This year we're celebrating 2 years, and I really wanted to have an impact on the community. I wanted to give back. I knew I wanted it to be for charity. So we are hosting the first ever Fun on Weekdays 5K. It will take place in LA on July 22nd in Griffith Park, and it is presented by Garmin. I am so incredibly grateful for Garmin for helping us bring this event to life, because truly without sponsors, huge events like this are oftentimes not possible for small businesses like myself. Garmin is a fitness watch that is for anyone who cares about their health. You don't have to be a professional athlete. You don't have to be like the most fit person in the world or work out every single day. It tracks so much more than just your workouts. The feature that I love the most, which I think is wild, is it actually tracks your stress rate. So when I was in Charleston, I was wearing my watch and I was running 3 minutes late to a cycling class because my Uber was late. By the way, it was my fault. I should have called the Uber sooner. But anyways, I'm stressed out, but I guess I've never actually known if I'm stressed or not. I always just say that I am, but I've never had data to back whether I truly am or not, or if saying that I'm stressed is just like an immediate response. Anyways, I look at my watch, and out of the 0 to 100, I was at a 98% stress level. What? Oh my God. I'm like, oh, this totally validates anytime that I've ever felt like I'm stressed. So now I can actually check and see. You can also check how you sleep at night. You can track a million different types of workouts, including pickleball. And one of my other favorite features is that we're going to use the Garmin watch as a way to create a challenge for the 5K to help you guys train. So I am not a runner. I've never ran a 5K, but it is one of my New Year's resolutions this year. And Fun on Weekdays is all about encouraging you to go and do something new. So I'm like, you know what? Let's just do something new together. This is one of my goals. Let's all go and conquer a 5K. So within Garmin, you can join the challenge, the Fun on Weekdays 5K, and we'll have a 5-week training program to help you prepare for the race. This is also a really great way to get involved too. If you don't live in LA or you're not able to make it to the race, you can still train with us through the Garmin watch. So thank you so much, Garmin. We love you. Such an incredible partnership. I'm so grateful. And last announcement is Halloween, okay? Halloween, mark your calendars. It's on a Tuesday. Obviously, we have to do an event on Halloween. October 31st, Austin, Texas, we are taking over that giant freaking ranch that we did the festival at last year. This year, they have an amphitheater, and they fit a lot more people. So we're going to have a DJ out there. We're going to turn some of the houses into little haunted houses. We're going to have a hayride. It'll be a whole thing. The biggest Halloween festival that Austin has ever seen. So mark your calendars now, because you might want to be in town for it. Okay, the next Fun on Weekdays update that I have is you guys, first of all, love the Fun on Weekdays merch. Every single day I get a DM about the hats or the crew necks, if we're going to have new styles, any restocks. So all of the previous times that I've ever done merch, I have always used Blank Wholesale Apparel. I worked at University Tees while I was in college. By the way, best job ever. I get messages about that too. If you're considering working for them, absolutely do it. But I do have to mention that you only make money if you put in the time and the effort to do so, because it is all commission based. But because of my job there, I feel like I know a lot about screen printing and embroidery and ordering custom apparel, which was really helpful when I did my first merch launch. I didn't want to work with Bonfire or one of those platforms that just does everything for you. I wanted it to feel a lot more custom, but I was working within a pretty limited budget. So designing and manufacturing my own apparel wasn't necessarily in the books before I even knew if it would sell. So last year I launched a couple different crew necks, a hoodie, a tank top, and a couple t-shirts. And we did design the actual design that goes on the garments. But one of my goals was to get away from this kind of quote unquote merch feeling and get more into quality products that are not just slapping my logo on a product that already exists. I want to create my own products. So at the beginning of the year, I got connected to a manufacturer that is going to help redesign my website. They're going to help me manufacture and fulfill all of our orders, and they're going to bring literally every single vision that I have to life. So I've been having a ton of fun designing new products for you guys that will actually launch in August. We're going to start off with a crew neck, matching joggers, matching shorts, and a tank top. So that will be our first drop. You guys are going to freak the fuck out when you see it. It is so cute. Cuter than anything Fun on Weekdays has done before. I have my own tags for it. I have my own branding, my own bags, like everything I have fully designed myself. And you can't just go and order this sweatshirt from like Gildan.com. So that'll be out in August. And then we're also working on designing planners. Ooh! We talked about the planners before. We kind of soft launched them and you guys are really excited. So working on making a couple variations of different planners. And then we're already planning into Q4 right now. So some items for the holiday season, which I don't want to give away yet. But again, the newsletter will pretty much have all major announcements. Okay, let's move into the life updates. Taking me back to the topic of having the best summer ever. So everyone remembers summer 2016, right? I graduated high school in 2016 and that summer was life-changing. I don't know what was in the air, but it was just the best summer ever. Fetty Wap was at his peak. Roses by the Chainsmokers was on repeat. I think that's also the year that The Middle by Maren Morris came out with Zedd. And the song Broccoli was on repeat in my car because I wanted to learn all of the words during the summer because I knew that song was going to be played at every single frat house. 2016 was just so, so good. So I am determined to make 2023 the best summer ever because 2020 and 2021, obviously COVID happened, very unconventional summers. I feel like things are finally back to normal and I am so ready for it. I personally feel like I am my best self when I am really, really busy. So I thought about, okay, how can I make the summer ever? And then I broke it up by the week. So I thought, what makes the best week ever? And I think it consists of three things. Doing something alone by myself that recharges myself or makes me feel more confident, more in line with myself, more grounded. And then 2, doing something with a friend, something that is social, whether it's like going out to happy hour, getting dinner, going and getting our nails done, just doing something with a friend. And then the third thing is doing something with someone that I love. So whether that is family and you live close to your sisters or your parents and you want to do something with them, or your partner, if you're dating someone. I try to go on a date every single week with Connor. Usually our date nights are Wednesdays, but lately because of our summer events, that has to be shifted because I'm always traveling on Wednesdays. So I've committed myself to doing 3 things every single week because if I do 3 things in a week, I have a really great week. And if you do that consistently for 10 weeks throughout the summer until the end of July, or into August, depending on, if you're a teacher, you're going back to school. If you're a student, you're going back to school. For everyone else, if you have PTO or vacation time. Honestly, I feel like everyone should have the summer off, regardless of your job. I don't know. But I decided I'm going to do these 3 things every single week. It's going to change every week, or some of them might stay the same depending. And I'm going to share with you what those activities are so that you guys can also follow along and also have the best summer ever. So this past week, honestly, yesterday alone, I fit like 5 activities into one day. I had just gotten back from Charleston. And so in the morning, I went and I worked out with my girlfriend, Madison. And then afterwards, I went and I got my nails done by myself. I got a coffee and I wasn't on my phone at all. Not only because my fingers were in those foils and I couldn't type anything at all, but my phone was also dead. So I had them charging it and I was just completely present, just focusing on my nails. It was really good time to be unplugged. Did that by myself. And then in the afternoon, I played pickleball with my boyfriend and my friend Madison and her boyfriend, Dan. So we did a little couples match. played for about like an hour and a half. After that, went home, washed off, and then we went over to our friend Anna's apartment and we hung out with Anna and her boyfriend Charles at their pool, at their rooftop. So we hung out at the pool, got some sun, listened to some good music. I had a couple Truly lemonades, which brought me back to 2020 quarantine. Truly lemonades was my water. I drank no water during quarantine 2020. I was in my college house with 7 other roommates and we were playing beer ball almost every single day, or some type of drinking game like flip cup or slip and slide flip cup with the lemonade Trulies. So I haven't drank them since then. I had 2 this past weekend and it just brought me right back. But now I actually kind of think they taste like aspirin. They're not as good as I remember them being. So we hung out at the pool and then we grilled on the rooftop. Oh my God, there is nothing better than a hamburger or hot dog on a nasty charred grill. It's like black and burnt. It's so good. Had some asparagus. And then after, we went and played golf in their golf simulator in their apartment. And then after that, came home, cooked some dinner, and all 4 of us went to go see The Little Mermaid at night. So I am not kidding you. We packed like 5 activities into one day. Today I'm working. It's Sunday, but we leave town tomorrow for Chicago, and then I'll be back Wednesday morning. So those are my activities for the week. But this upcoming week, my alone time activity is I'm going to go journal in the park. I actually might go and do that while I'm in Chicago. I think that'd be a nice thing to do to kind of just reset my mind before this huge event. And I want to write down my goals for the summer so I can actually see what I've completed at the end of the summer. So that's my activity this week for you, is to go journal in a park alone. Get yourself a coffee or a smoothie, an acai bowl, whatever. Make it into like a whole little activity for you. My activity with someone that you love is going to a pottery class. So I scheduled a pottery class for me and Connor to go paint pottery at this little place in Austin. I think it's called like Cafe Monet. So that will be our date this week when we get back from Chicago. And then my activity with my friends is we're going to go zip lining on Lake Travis, which zip lining is not necessarily the most accessible thing if you live in a small town. But if you do have zip lining near you, go and zip line. So those are my 3 activities for next week, and I'll keep you guys updated on what we're doing every single week, so you can also take inspiration from those activities and do it yourself. I also think the key to having a great summer is going into it with the mindset that you can do literally anything at all. I have never really been a religious person. My dad's side of the family is a bit more religious, and growing up we would go to church on like Christmas and Easter, but lately in the past couple of years, we just spend holidays together. So I definitely believe in something higher than myself, than everyone. Like I do believe in a greater God, but I'm not exactly sure like what my religious standpoint is. Lately though, like there have been the most insane things happening to my life that I am starting to believe have me questioning like my faith. Because call it what you will, whether it's manifesting or lucky girl syndrome, lately there have just been so many incredible blessings in my life that they cannot be by coincidence. Like there's no freaking way. I do want to say that at the beginning of this year, I made a decision to be happier and to be more grateful and to show more gratitude. And I would say within the past couple of months, I have seen that return incredible ways, because I truly believe if you're putting good out into the universe, like that is what you're going to get back. But if you're putting out self-pity, self-doubt, constant complaints, and just allowing yourself to like wallow into this negative attitude about life and why me and why is this happening and blaming other people around you, like that is what you're going to get back to yourself. And that's what I was putting out last year quite a bit. Like internally, I was grateful, but I don't think that externally I was ever showing it to people in my life or expressing that gratitude. So at the beginning of this year, I really made it a priority to do that by giving back more, saying thank you more, offering more acts of kindness, and I guess just giving more like compassion and empathy. So I've always had this I can do anything type of attitude, because I really don't think that there is anything that is off limits. If I want to be a bar instructor, I can absolutely do that. If I want to run a 5K, I can absolutely do that. But you know what? I can take it a step further and I can host the freaking 5K. I can make that happen. I could host a 5K. I can sell it out. I can sell out an event in Chicago. I keep telling myself all of these things that I can do, but I genuinely like fully believe that I can do it. And I also think that is a huge part that people talk about with manifesting, is that you can't just say that you want something. You have to truly believe that it's going to happen and that there's no other option out there than for it to happen. And not only that, but like you have to work towards it too. I don't normally ever talk about like pop culture or influencer drama or anything on my podcast, but lately I was listening to this podcast that I've listened to for a bit of time here and there, how manifesting is like the equivalent of begging for things. And I just don't agree with that, because I think that if you want anything in the world, you have to verbally say it out loud and you have to ask for it. If you don't ask for anything in life, no one is ever going to know that you want it. You can't expect people to read your mind. If you say like, oh, I want a promotion, I'm manifesting a promotion in your mind, how in the world is your boss going to just inherently know that you want a promotion? You have to ask for it. You have to go to them and ask for it, regardless of what it is in life. Whether you're asking someone directly or you're using your social media platform to ask for it from the universe, or to ask for your followers or supporters or friends to help you reach that goal, I don't think that it's begging. I don't think that it is embarrassing. I think everyone should be encouraged to ask for what they want and deserve. And I think that's the mindset that we should have going into this summer, is that there is nothing too big or too small that you are capable of having, but you do have to ask for it, you do have to work for it, and you do have to believe that you deserve it as well. The lucky girl syndrome was a pretty common topic that was circulating a couple months ago on TikTok, where it's this idea that just all these really good things happen to people who are really lucky because they truly believe, I'm lucky, these good things happen to me, things work out in my favor. But it actually happens to these people because they truly believe that they are deserving of good things to happen. So I have actually been saying this phrase for the past 2 weeks. It's kind of been a joke between me, Hallie, and Gabby that will be like, we are lucky girls. This is going to work out for us. And we've said it about the Charleston weather working out. We woke up the morning of the event and it was gloomy. It was supposed to rain. And we're like, you know what? We're lucky. It's going to work out. Everything's going to be good. And later that day, beautiful, gorgeous weather. We said it about each of our last events selling out. We're like, we are lucky. This is going to work out in our favor. And shortly thereafter, it did. So part of me is questioning, am I just lucky, or is it manifesting, or is it something else? Is there a greater person or being or God above me that is bringing these blessings to my life? And I'm not entirely sure what it is. It's infectious. And I feel like I've been radiating a lot more happiness lately, which is also attracting more happiness to me. And I want you all, and going into the summer, I want you all to tell yourselves that you are deserving of having the best summer ever. You are deserving of every single thing that you want to happen to. You are deserving of every single goal that you have, and you are lucky, and everything is going to work out for you. So here is an example this is an example of a ripple effect of one small act of kindness. To go get coffee at Irene's in Austin, Texas. It's right by my office. I recommend the Irene's Original. It's a butterscotch homemade syrup cold brew. Incredible. And every time I'm there's this girl named Jill who's working. She's always my barista. And a couple weeks ago, I went there and she gave me a free coffee. And I was like, oh my gosh, that was so sweet of you. I'm more than happy to pay for it. And she goes, no, it's on me. You come in here a lot. I just wanted to do something nice for you. You always make my day, make me smile. Okay, so then later that day, 3 things happened to me. We've been planning this 5K for the past couple of months, ever since Hallie started. And securing sponsors for it has been a huge stress on all of our plates. And at the end of the day, the last thing that happened to me was I got a call from my managers and they said, we just secured our first sponsor for the 5K. And I truly believe that it was a reflection of her act of kindness. And ever since then, I've been doing small things for followers, sending money for coffee. It has just inspired me to continue doing little nice things, appreciating little moments. And so the next time that I went and got coffee, I told her, I'm like, I just have to tell you that ever since you gave me free coffee, I took your energy and I gave it back to someone else. And all of these things have been happening. And she goes, the craziest thing is someone that I work with showed me your TikTok video about how, you were manifesting these things and then they happened. So I thought, I should manifest these things happening to me. So she said she was manifesting making $50 more per week, going on a beach vacation and getting a second dog. And after she manifested it, after she said out loud, after seeing my video, oh my gosh, this is working for her, maybe I should do it too. She literally no sooner after got a call from an old friend that she hasn't talked to in quite a bit of time, who asked her if she would watch her dog and walk her dog for $50 a week. And she's like, oh my God, this is crazy. Because not only is it the money, but also the dog. Then her boyfriend, I think it was her boyfriend, called her and asked if she would want to go to a wedding as his date, all expenses paid for, and the wedding is on a beach. So just the craziest things in life have been happening lately. They cannot be coincidences in my mind. They can be, but I don't know, they're happening too frequently. All that to say, I'm just really grateful. And the last update that I have for you is I might be buying a house, which means we might also be moving out of this office, unfortunately. So I signed the lease for this office in, I think, February of last year. And I got this office when I was currently living in an apartment with my boyfriend. and we didn't have an extra room that I could have worked in at the time. So I got the office as a separation from my work and home. But then shortly after that, in September of last year, my boyfriend and I rented a house together for a year. So the two leases actually end right at the same time, and our commercial lease is 18 months long, which is not common at all. Typically a commercial lease is like 2, 3 to 5 years. And so I got really lucky with this shorter lease term, and they've been asking me, what is your plan for here? Are you going to move out? Are you going to stay here? And if I stay here, they want me to take down this wall that's in the living room, in the hallway, so we could expand into the other unit that's also on this floor, because they want someone to take over the whole space. But if I do that, then my rent is obviously going up, and our house lease is about to be up. We love the house that we're currently in, but our neighbors' dogs are fucking crazy. We can't even let Quincy into the backyard and like play fetch with him without them going blitzo, barking their heads off, and then the whole neighborhood of dogs start barking because they're like very big, loud dogs. So not only that, but I'm also just kind of ready to move into my own space. It has always felt like home to me, but our actual house and apartment has never truly felt like my home, if that makes sense. I mean, it's not, because in my mind, I know that it's short term, so I've never really given the time to like truly get settled into it. So I finally have 2 years of self-employment. I have tax returns. I have all the things that I did not have last year when I thought I wanted to buy a house. I was so in over my head. If you followed along for that series, or if you've been around since last year when I was looking for a house, I'm a little bit embarrassed of how out of touch with reality I was at the time. But I've definitely settled down a bit more. I have a better understanding of what I'm looking for in a house. And I do plan to stay in Austin for at least the next like 5 years. Now, I don't know what's going to happen when I'm 30 years old, if I'll be married by then, if I'll be wanting to have a family. And if so, where I move will probably depend on that. But 5 years from now, I only assume that the real estate here is going to increase in value, which, I mean, I would hope so. I would hope that I would be able to get more money out of the house. But I did find a house that I really, really love, and I'm considering putting an offer on it. So I'll find out tomorrow, actually, after my realtor talks to the leasing agent, more information about the house, all those things. And I'm just feeling incredibly grateful right now, incredibly lucky, incredibly blessed. And the summer has just been off to a really great start. So I want to do whatever I can to inspire you, host more events to connect more of you, and just kick off the summer on a good note. So that is the end of today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed some life updates, fun on weekdays updates, and I'll talk to you guys next Tuesday. Bye.